Hey, what's happening, guys? I've got a brand new Eastman's Life of a Bowhunter for you. So, unfortunately, Dan did not make it this episode. I've got to sit down, record a solo. We've both just been so busy with our schedules here. Tried to connect, but he's headed off on another elk hunt. So, I know I'd promised that I'd have Dan back on for this episode, but I do have a great one for you. It's a recap of my elk season. And man, I just learned so many great lessons, so much great in-depth information I'm going to share with you guys. So really pumped to put this episode together. And I do promise I will get with Dan for the next one. Like I say, our schedules have just been crazy here. And I want to make sure that I get you guys out a quality podcast every 2 weeks on this feed. So here we are, solo episode. So we'll get right into it. Just want to thank a couple sponsors. I want to thank On Glass. On Glass is the easiest way to phone scope. It's so simple the way it connects to my scope. I'm able to get quality images, connects to my binos as well. It's just a great system. I can have the magnets on the outside of my case, so I don't got to pull my phone out of my case to record. I've just got some great footage this season of great bulls and great bucks. It's just so simple and so easy to use. It's a well thought out system. I also have a truck mount inside my truck so I can set my phone hands free on my dash. So that's been really handy as well, but just captures great video. Once you get everything set up, it just lines up perfectly where you don't have to spend a lot of time finding the center, finding your focus. It's just so simple and easy for me that I get great video, great photos of quality animals that I'm chasing, which also helps with field judging, looking later that night, showing buddies what kind of bull it was, what kind of buck it was, and seeing if they recognize it. So it's just been a game changer for me. Check these guys out over at On Glass. You couldn't buy a better system for phone scoping. I also want to thank Cutter Stabilizers. So Cutter Stabilizers is Earl Stroll, a buddy of mine. They have a brand new quiver out. I'm actually going to try one of these new quivers. It just mounts really close to the bow, vibration dampening system, and everything Earl does, he puts through the paces and makes sure he does right. But what Cutter's really known for, their stabilizing system. So they're carbon fiber bars. They're a small diameter, so they cut the wind really well. This just helps with the balance, the reaction of my bow. I can change the weights by an ounce. They have a great sidebar bracket. Also, great storing of your bars for in the rig and things. You can store them like they'll go vertical in there so they don't take up a lot of room if you got your buddy in there with his bow or something. They're just great connections. Again, vibration dampening system to where I don't have any rattles or clangs on my bow. Just makes for a great setup, and they make a bunch of different options. So I'm using the 15 out front, the 12 in back. Dan Picard prefers a little bit smaller. I think he's using the 10 and maybe he's just using the 12 out front. I don't think he uses a sidebar, but that sidebar is a huge help with the balance of the bow. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited about these bars. Really helps me fine tune my setup and find good accuracy. So thanks to Earl Stroll from Cutter. I also just want to put a quick note in for Goat Knives. So we're doing that drawing. Travis Nowotny killed a heck of a bull this year. I think it's his personal best. It was an absolute monster, but he's just one of us bow hunting brothers that goes really hard, that has a great company. So check out those Goat Knives. I've been using them this season and super impressed. But we have a giveaway. So basically, you follow Eastman's Life of a Bow Hunter on IG. You follow Goat Knives. We'll post another one. We're giving away a knife a month. And so if you get entered, you just send it in that post or whatever with that goat knife. And we're going to be giving another one away here. So just wanted to put a quick note. You don't got to post on a comment on every post or anything. We'll make a specific post for that giveaway. And thanks again for Travis for doing this for the podcast. So, alrighty. Well, solo podcast. It's been a heck of an elk season for me. So last year I had hunted elk a total of 3 days and killed 2 great bulls. It just all came together in making quality plays. And bow hunting has a way to humble you, or at least has a way to humble me for sure. put in a ton of work this season. I'm really at my best, both fitness levels, shooting, knowledge. I'm really at the top of my game, but I went for a grind of a season. It's still not over. I still have an elk tag. So I just have to get back and get some responsibility done, some family time. I wish I could be gone forever, but I've had about a 5 or 6 week season chasing things around. That includes that early season deer hunt and then elk hunting. And it's been absolutely incredible. It's probably the most action I've ever seen, which still tells me there's like great places to hunt out there. There's great bulls around, and I've done a lot right. I've made really solid plays this year. I've had this wind just absolutely perfect. And, I've always said that the wind, it's like one of the biggest factors when trying to kill bulls. And a higher understanding of the wind just gives you this nod when hunting elk. And I've really used that this season for these quality plays on elk. And I've just had so many close calls of good bulls I want to shoot that walk through the shooting lane or don't offer a shot, or cows in the way, or there's so many factors that go into killing a bull elk. They're so difficult and challenging. And I think this is what brings me back and lights a fire under me to even work harder at my skill sets. It's just the harder you work, the better you get at these skills, the better elk hunter you become, and the better you are at these opportunities and closing deals. And Dan's had a heck of a season. He killed a great bull. I know, I don't know if he wants to mention states, but he killed a great 6-point, and then he also killed another 5-point. I think he's still got another elk hunt to go on. That's why I couldn't connect with him here the next couple days and get this recorded. So good hunting to him. He's been hunting really well and killed some great critters. But that higher understanding of the wind, I ran into it this year, hunting places that, there's a lot of guys that like to elk hunt and that go hard. And, this is part of the game with public land, do it yourself. And I've always said that you can get out there and find your own experience. And I really think you can. And I have this season, but I've also ran into hunting pressure too. And I've ran into guys that just can't dial in the wind. I've ran into some guys that have just given up on it. Like they're just going for plays on elk wherever they are, no matter what the wind is. And that definitely isn't the right approach. And I've seen them blow out more elk, and a lot of the elk that I'm going after at times. I find a great bull and I think I'm the only guy back there and start making a play. Gosh, I had this great 6-point, and there was also a big herd bull 5-point that was chasing cows. And man, I circled all the way around. I got the wind right, found him early in the evening. I started coming in and worked my way into him. Could have shot the big 5 at 30 yards and passed him. I'm really proud at the way I've held out for like the bull that I really want this year. So it held out on that 5, trying to kill the 6, and I am just minutes, if not seconds. And I've also realized elk hunting, like, man, it comes down to the minutes and seconds on these things constantly. I mean, I can tell you 100 different plays where I just, like, if I would have been a minute sooner, if I would have been 30 seconds sooner, I would have killed that bull. But anyways, I'm making this play past the 5, still rutting over the hill. I start making my last move to kill this 6, and they just blow up. And when these elk, I could hear them stampede, or no, I don't think I could hear him stampede. I just spotted them, a ridge away, and they'd stop bugling. And then I hear some cow calling and some bugling or whatever. And, a couple guys that just came down with downhill thermals right above these elk with the worst possible wind. And they had no chance at killing this bull. They were still 300 yards out where I was, 50 yards or 30 yards from that 5-point. And it's just the way it goes. Like, everybody wants to kill a bull really bad, and they're all making their best plays. And, I can get a little frustrated just because it's like, man, you didn't have a chance at killing them, and you came in with total wrong wind with downhill thermals. But, I've also made mistakes on the wind. And so, and these guys are just trying to kill them. And really, I don't think they know any better. I don't think these guys even knew anything about downhill thermals or the wind. We had to walk out the same trail. I was actually backpacking they had stayed in there for a week or so, and I was staying on the ridge. And so met up with them, and they were nice enough guys and having a good hunt. It was a father-son team, but yeah, just no concept of what the wind was doing. So this higher understanding of the wind, it's not just checking the wind checker. It's also like having these knowledge about the thermals and directionals. And I've learned some big lessons this year, like tried to play some elk with the thermals in the morning, but the directionals are overpowering them, and it comes the opposite way. And I've had to make big loops around elk. I'm actually really proud. I haven't got winded much at all this season, but I did make a major mistake the other night. Oh, it just kills me. It making these mistakes on these bulls, it it hurts so bad. It cuts so deep. You want them so bad, and you want to be clutching these opportunities when you get a chance to kill the bull of your dreams. You get that chance, and you want to be at your very best. You want to be decisive, be making decisions, but making the right ones. So, I'm really proud of how I played the wind on, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 different bulls this year. I mean, hardly got winded at all. I got winded chasing a big herd bull. It was kind of late in the morning, and I had a cow walk out. She was like 50 yards. I thought that herd bull might walk up, and I really had good wind. It was just that late morning where it starts to switch around, where the thermals start to switch around, and that cow winded me. She didn't take the herd bull. And then before I could back out of there, two bulls showed up right where she was, and they were two satellites I wasn't going to shoot. And the herd bull's bugling down in the bottom. And same thing, great wind for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden it switched, and they caught my wind and out. They didn't blow out that herd bull, which was good, but those were really the only elk I had been winded by. Been winded by some other guys going in, but really played the wind so well this season. And it isn't just the wind checker, it's this knowledge of like how these directionals and how these thermals are moving through the mountains, and almost like being able to predict what the wind does. Like I know, in the meadows, in the sunshine, the thermals are taking off and going uphill. But if I stay in the shaded timber, that shaded timber, it's cool and the air drops. Or in the creek bottoms, the air falls down these creek bottoms. And so like really being able to predict, or it was windy this night on my tent, so I know in the morning the directionals are going to be blowing up, and they're going to overpower the thermals, and I can trust the directionals. And really, if you can get the directionals and thermals working with you, you're in the money. But man, I just, fickle mountain winds are really difficult to dial in. I did a really good job of playing them, but I did make a major mistake the other night that just killed me. I'd been hunting hard, and finally found this great 330 bull, had glassed him from a few miles off. They were actually moving middle of the day, which I've caught some elk moving middle of the day and feeding middle of the day in these cooler temps. And I had known there was a lot of elk in this drainage in this area from hunting it the day before. I had a close call on a good 6 and kind of ran out of light. They worked into the timber at last light, which was weird. But then I figured out the next day they had worked through the patch of timber, into some more sage in there. But it was one of those rush deals where I was, practically, running to keep up with just sweat pouring down my brow. And last light, they kind of worked in the trees instead of feeding in the park they were in. And they were working through to a different park, but I ran out of time. So anyways, I'm playing on this 330 bull. I predict where I see him bed or see the timber he goes into. And so I put myself in a good spot, and wind is a bit dicey. The directionals are kind of overpowering this day, but I'm in these little pocket parks, and in these pocket parks, then the thermals are starting to take over. So I'm on the far side of the meadow. I've got a decent directional, and then my thermal is going down, and I'm waiting for these elk to show up. And they read the script. This great heavy horned hammer of a bull, just dark horn, big fronts, big thirds, great fourth, comes out, just the bull of my dreams, one I want to kill. And he comes out and starts feeding with his cows, and I just kind of slow play it. I'm like, man, I got to wait for the sun to go down and these thermals to get better where I can trust the thermals. And they're kind of they're not working to the big pocket park. They're working this diagonal park, and he's rutting and bugling like crazy. And so I start to get some decent thermals in the dark timber, the edge of the dark timber I'm in, and it's really blocking the directionals. And so I've got a good wind, and I ran out of time the night before, and it's just like a little over anxious on this bull. I should have waited. I knew I should have waited. And that's what kills me, is that I know better. Played these winds so good this year, but I start closing in, and I'm just trying to get in a staging area or in strike zone of this bull. And so, when I start, I'm maybe like 400 or 500 yards away, and I start working around this dark timber. And the whole time the thermals are going good. They're going from the elk to me. They're coming downhill. I'm playing them really good. Every once in a while I'll hit a directional, but it's kind of going right to left. And so as long as I stage up, even with these elk and not on the right side of them, I should be good. And so I close around this timber, slow playing it, can kind of glass them up there. And then I have to lose sight of them. And I lose sight of them. And I'm in the last hour of light, I think. And so, I can see the sun dip down, and the sun kind of gets behind some clouds. And I really have a good wind, checking it the whole way over. I've got this thermal that's coming down from the elk to me. And especially as I keep in this timber around the edge, lose sight of them, and I start working up towards this bull that's bugling. And I get up to, I don't know, probably like 250, 300, something like that. And I'm trying to get in front of these elk. This is another thing, like the strategy of elk hunting. And I'm going to go through this, but just being able to locate where the bugles are. And instead of chasing these bugles, like trying to get in front of these elk and letting them work into me. As there's so many eyes with these cows and trying to kill the big herd bull, it was really like a great strategy this year for actually like for killing one instead of chasing, where they were, where they're at exactly, like getting in front of them. And so I played this game really well this season, and I knew how these elk were going to work down this diagonal meadow. And the diagonal meadow is probably only 50 yards across, and it's just got timber on both sides. It's like more covery than it is wide open. And I know they're going to work down this, and they're pushing pretty hard down it. So I'm just trying to stage, and I get about 250, 300 yards. The wind's been good the whole time. And all of a sudden I feel it switch, and it's going from me to the elk, and it's that directional. And I just didn't wait long enough for the sun to go down. And even though I was checking the wind the whole time and slow playing these elk, I didn't slow play them enough and keeping that good wind. And it switched, right at the end there for 30 seconds. It's going the wrong way. And then it comes right back my direction. I didn't hear them blow out, but all of a sudden there's no bugles, and I hear a distant bugle, and then the elk are off, like can't find them. And they were just right there milling around. And I know they got my wind in there. Oh, it kills me. It hurts so bad when you make these mistakes. That was the last night of the last day with my cameraman to make this incredible film on a bull I really wanted to kill, and I screwed it up. Man, it hurts. And it's just, I know, I'm never going to be perfect on all the plays, on all the elk I want, but boy, you just want to be good in those situations. And I had been really good all season, but man, it just, I messed up that one for sure. Just getting over anxious, wanted them too bad. I should have slow played it a little bit longer. And then, after the sun went down, I would have had a half an hour to close on this bull, which is plenty of time to cover the distance. And I could have played him wherever he was at, because he was bugling like crazy. But yeah, it was a grind of a season for me, and I played a lot right, and then also made some mistakes. And it's also, it's like a wonderful thing too, that this endeavor, this thing that I love, this backcountry bow hunting, that there is no ceiling to how good you can get. And still, as hard as I work, as much as I've improved, as much confidence I have in my skills, as much success as I see, that I'm not the best version of myself. Like, I can still improve and still get better in this instincts portion of the game, or all of it, really. So that one cut pretty deep the other night. I'm still recovering from that. I think it was just 2 nights ago, and I still have an elk cut, and we'll still continue to hunt. But yeah, it had a grind of a season. It was also so epic, so much time in the mountains, and so like the purest form of bow hunting, like backpack hunting, a bunch of it. and just going for it nonstop. Like, I honestly think, like, I mean, I maybe had 3 days off from, I hunted that deer hunt and then went right into elk around September 9th or 10th. And then, right now I'm sitting at October 5th. So, I mean, I've pretty much been bow hunting for 5 or 6 weeks straight with only 3 or 4 days off here and there. So it's been absolutely incredible doing what I love to do, and so many close calls and bulls that I want to kill, and just, a lot of times just not having it come together, just not offering a shot, or chasing bugles and then chasing bugles again in the evening. Had a great bull like come through a window, and it was one of those deals. Like, what I like to do when I have a bull I want to kill is I like to get a range on them, and then I like to draw my bow, and then I like to cow call at them to stop them and then execute my shot. And I had a great bull that came through a window one night. And of course, I can shoot all the cows. I can shoot the satellite bull, and the big bull is finally coming through this window, and I'm ranging the cows. And then he comes through the window. I range him, and just not enough time to draw back and cow call and stop him. Now, there is another move, more aggressive, that I can take by cow calling and stopping him, and then having him look at me, and then drawing my bow and trying to execute a good shot. And, as season went on, like, I found myself like making this correction of like, okay, I need to be more aggressive and look for my shot. These are my all-in moments, because elk will just walk away from you too. I've always thought, like, keep playing the game. In every situation is different. Like, a lot of times these elk, if they're just feeding and milling around, yeah, continue to play the game. You're probably going to get an opportunity at these bulls. But if you're hunting them in transition, they'll just walk out of your lives. Like, you can't move slow and quiet enough to be able to keep with them. So you have these intersection moments where you intersect them, you're in range, and then once they're out, I mean, sometimes you catch back up and you get another play, but I guess every scenario is different, and you got to listen to your instincts. But I found myself getting more aggressive, just like want to get one of these things killed, one of these big sixes, and starting to look for my opportunity, and just be a little bit more aggressive with it. So, I found myself like playing that game a little bit more, and it was like one of the most wonderful elk seasons. Like, I really think, I mean, I had a play at a 6-point every single day of the season, and I hunted almost the whole month, almost like a 5 or 6 week season, counting that deer hunt. I don't know, for elk, I mean, I was probably like 4 weeks of hunting elk, which is just amazing. I feel so fortunate, so grateful to like be able to work hard and then get this time to hunt them. And I mean, if I'm being totally honest, like, I maybe I'm a bit greedy, but man, I want more. I love it so much. I did not want to quit the other night after that close call on that bull. And the only thing I know, the only reason I'm successful is persistence and my ability to grind and continue to push, and also those good skill sets and making good plays. But really, persistence is the best attribute I have. And so getting plays on bulls, man, it killed me too. Like, those are tough to come back from. Like, when you have a close opportunity at a bull and you screw it up, or you have a close opportunity, a bull or a miss, man, that's tough to pick yourself up from. Like, the mental game, it just, like, the pain you feel when you mess up an opportunity and you got so close, to be able to reboot, pick yourself back up and go earn another opportunity is really tough. And man, I had a couple of just like the wildest scenarios. So the first one is a great 6-point. See, I glassed him up in the night, and then in the morning I had him with his cows. He was like a great 326, like superb bull. He wasn't bugling much. He only bugled a couple times, but I was able to follow him into this patch of timber and come up and see a cow. Now, there's a few things that I could have done different here, but let me just go through the scenario. See a cow. She doesn't see me. I've got the wind perfect, downhill thermal coming through the timber. They're in a little park, or she's in a park. I'm fairly certain that there's more there. So I kind of circle back around out of sight, and I come up the bottom of the draw. And as I come up the bottom of the draw, I see another elk there. And I look through my binos, and it's the bull, or it's a bull. I want to make sure it's the bull because I saw him last night, but I haven't seen him this morning. And even the night before, it was a long ways off through the scope, and I just got one look of a big 4. And so I wanted to make sure it was the right bull. And as I look, he's like broadside in range, kind of through this little window of trees that I can put an arrow through, but I have to look and make sure he's a good 6. I look, it's a good bull I want to shoot. I look back at my cameraman. I kind of position him different to my left, and I say, I'm going to shoot him right here. And get a good range, couple different ranges on him, draw back, and he's perfectly broadside. And I anchor and level. I put my pin where I want it, and I'm pulling on my shot pretty hard. And right as I'm pulling, and I only know this because I can watch video back, in my mind, he was broadside. I released, he turned, the arrow missed him in front of him. As I watched the video, like he was starting to turn and move right as my shot broke. And we're talking milliseconds, but he's turning his head and then turning away from me. And he just turned at the right spot where he didn't jump my string. He is just turning as my shot's breaking, and my shot breaks and he turns and the arrow misses to the right. I mean, I actually wasn't sure and thought maybe I hit him quartered away the way he turned. It was so split second. And I can watch that video and watch where my arrow hits, and my arrow hits the perfect spot of where that elk was. But right as my shot's breaking, right as my shot breaks, he's turning and rolls out of the way. I mean, that bull must have had 9 lives. And my arrow passes like right by the side of him. I got to share some of these videos. It just happens so bang, bang that you almost have to like mark the spot that you're aiming, and you almost have to watch it in slow-mo, frame by frame. But it just killed me. It was such a great bull and such a great opportunity. And the thing that killed me too is that this bull turned. I had seconds to shoot him. I was really calm, cool, and collected. I moved my cameraman around. I moved and got ranges. I wasn't knocked when I found the first cow and I made my move around. So I had to knock my arrow, put my release on my string. I had all these seconds where I was dilly-dallying around, where I was making sure it was the right bull, which is the right thing to do. I didn't want to shoot a smaller bull, or I wanted to make sure it was the right bull. It was the first time I'd seen him that morning. But just all these seconds lost where I needed one more second and that arrow hits him perfect. But yeah, it just coming back from these lows or these misses or these close encounters is really difficult. And that's why I say it was an absolute grind of a season. I had close calls and bulls move through windows, and I've had elk seasons similar to this before, and I just know that I have to be persistent, continue to keep my head in the game, and make good plays, and I'm going to get one killed. The one that absolutely shattered me, which I haven't been this low in bow hunting for quite a while. This was a tough one. So I had, that bull. I didn't end up killing him. Good thing is I didn't wound him or hit him bad or anything, that I get to start fresh and go after it. But it just crushes me to have close calls on good bulls like that and not get them killed, when I pride myself on being a really good shot and good at execution. And so anyways, I had another bull. This was towards the end of a go, like the first go with my cameraman, and then we had to take a couple days off, and we're just at the end of it. And I find this great bull. He's like probably got a 340 frame, probably scores 320, kind of smaller 5s, but just great main beams, dragon of a bugle, great fronts, thirds, wide, just a super bull. One I'd be stoked to kill and make a play on them down in the evening. And again, just dialing in these winds and what they should be, and a downhill thermal, waiting for the sun to go down. It's shaded, make my play, comes out with a bunch of cows down below me. I'd seen him that morning. So make a play down in this draw. And it's weird. He kind of separates from the cows, and I'm not sure if he's looking for more cows or chasing this herd bull off, but they're kind of bugling back and forth, and he's up in the trees. So I'm uncertain if I want to get in between him and the cows and have him come back to his cows and try to shoot him there, or if I want to go up in the trees and try to kill him there. So I'm just kind of going in and I'm dialing. I have this draw to my right, and the wind's a little bit fickle in that draw. And so I'm just like waiting for a second. And that bull is up in the trees, and he must have heard me and my cameraman coming through the brush. And all of a sudden, he starts coming for us, bugling, like thinks we're another bull or thinks we're a cow. And so this is going to happen. I kneel down, my cameraman, I get kneeled down. And as I get kneeled down, this bull is going to come out so close. And I range a tree at 40, and this bull comes in so close. I figure he's like 30 yards. He comes through the opening just tuned up and kind of looking right in our direction. I draw back as he's coming through the trees. I'm at full draw. He gives me like a forward facing, kind of like a little bit quartering toward shot. And I like, in this instance, I've always talked about sometimes how these closer shots are tougher than the far ones. He comes in so close, I give myself permission to like punch this trigger off, which I would like to execute correctly even at those close yardages, especially when I have to put such a precise arrow in there. But I know I can punch this 30-yard shot off right where it needs to be and put it right in the front of him, and this is a done deal. So this is the thing that has me questioning life. So he comes in, and he's quartering towards, kind of forward facing, and I've got to put it right by that front side shoulder and right, like in the front of him, like it's going to drive right in the front of him. And I know exactly where to put that arrow. I feel confident that if I make the shot, he's dead. And I break this shot, and that bull runs off, and he is unhit. Like, I mean, all my pins were on him. It was like no way I could miss. I was beside myself. Like, I want to tell you, I haven't been that low in bow hunting in a long time. I just could not figure it out. I watched the footage back, but it's on a little LCD screen, and I was just beside myself. There's like no way I could miss. Like, all my pins were on him. It wasn't like I just found hair and broke the shot. It was like, man, I found the spot it wanted to be, let the pin settle, and tried to put it right in that right spot. That bull ran off uninjured, ended up chasing him that night, but I'm just in my own head beside myself. There's just like no way. Like, how did I miss? Like, it felt like when I was younger as a kid, where you're almost firing blanks out of the bow. Like, I could not figure it out, and it crushed me. Like, that night, slept in the mountains, and I just couldn't get over it. I just kept replaying it. Like, God, did I miss high? Did I miss low? I shot him for 30. Did he come into 25? Even if he came into 25, that arrow would have crushed him. So that didn't make much sense. Did I miss low? Well, I ranged that tree at 40, like even 30, even if he was 35, 36. How do I miss low on a bull? Like it just didn't make any sense at all to me. Really crushed me. It was like the end of this go with the cameraman. And so, I went home, and I'm just like, man, I have no idea what I did. I know I punched the shot. So, maybe that was it. Maybe I punched it into outer space or something, which, gosh, I can punch a shot with a thumb, especially a close shot like that, and I'm fine. Like, it's going to hit the mark. And so I couldn't figure it out, to be honest. It made me a little upset that I had punched the shot because I did not have quality execution. And I'm like, man, that just had to be it. I don't know if I punched it off high. Like, I don't know. I remember the pin was low to start with, and I had to bring it where I wanted it and executed that shot. Did I just punch it off high as I was bringing it up, or I could not figure it out? And for the life of me, it was just like my pin was on him and I didn't hit him. And I know I'm like so distraught. I usually don't get upset. Usually, like, it's like, man, I'm grateful for the encounter and the excitement, the thrill of it. Playing the game with a bull like that in the mountains is like enough to satisfy me, worth the price of admission. Like, I'll kill the next one. Oh my gosh, it was a little tougher for me to get over this one, but came home, and a couple days off really healed me. But I watched it on the computer screen, and it's the wildest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, this bull is quartered to me, kind of forward facing, and I break the shot, and this bull loads up to like run, and he's like 25 yards maybe. I shot him for 30. It still would have crushed him. And I can put like a mark, like the tip of a pin, where I want to hit this bull, like in the front with the perfect angle. And I put the tip of the pin on this. And I watched this bull load up and spin, and I watched that arrow hit that pin at the exact spot, and it flies like in the crease of his neck as he lowers down to load up. He drops 12 to 16 inches and spins, and this arrow goes right in like the crook of his neck where his back is right there as he spins. And I mean, the arrow never drew blood in there, like passed right through his hair, right through the top of him right there. I don't even know if it got hair, but it was so close to him, like you're talking like an inch over him. But the bull dropped 12 to 16 inches on that shot. I never would have known that if I didn't have film of it. I replayed it black in slow-mo, put the tip of the pin where I want to hit that elk in the perfect spot, and I watched the arrow hit that tip of the pin. Like the arrow went to its mark, that bull dropped and rolled, and that arrow, and I always say like elk wait for the arrow. They don't jump strings. You know, they're not like an antelope or deer. This elk loaded up and dodged my arrow like total Matrix style. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen. So after watching that on the screen, you know, I felt a little bit better. It was like, because I had no idea how in the heck I could miss that thing. And it just crushed me. I just like felt like, you know, I've been bow hunting too long to like duff a shot like that. All my pins were on him. He was so close. But as I watch it back, yeah, that thing actually rolled, ducked out of the way of that arrow. So yeah, I had a couple misses. Yeah, it's pretty wild. But you just got to pick yourself back up. Had a close call. It's like, get back after it, earn another opportunity. Like it is elk season right now. It's not time to start thinking about next season. I have time on my hands. Take a couple days off, of course, shoot a million arrows in those couple days, and then have my cameraman back, and we're back on full send mode, going for it. Backpack into a new spot, and get in there and watching in the evening, and actually see a bunch of elk come out in a location. And, you know, there's been so many good sixes in this area that I'm just confident right now is peak rut that there's going to be a good bull with those cows. Like it's going to take us probably an hour and a half to get to them. We saw them early. Like, let's go. We'll keep an eye on them along the way. And so we start going for these elk and get over there. You know, we get down below them. We're making our way. We're probably an hour into the stock, and I kind of like lose sight of them because we dip in the draw. And I'm like, man, maybe I'm just kind of low and I can't see them. And then sure enough, I see like a couple guys up there, and they came down with a bad wind and must have blown those elk up. I thought, well, that's the way it goes sometimes. There's like, you know, this is mountains and we're backpacking, and there's not a lot of guys in where we're hunting, but they can come from different angles and different accesses. And so those guys were just taking a walk down that ridge, whether they knew those elk were there or not, blew them up. And so kind of a bummer, but just is what it is. And just got to keep after, man. I'm going to get one of these good 6 points killed. And so just make it back all the way back to the vantage point, and good miles that day. I mean, I don't know how many miles I had in this season, but it had to be close to a couple hundred. I know the first rip or the first week of the season, we had like 110 in or something, you know. It's just so much elevation. It's actually, if I'm being honest, like if I'm judging season, like not only do I want to judge it, like I want a 6 point bull down pretty bad, but you know, I also judge these seasons as the effort that I put into it as well. And this season was one of my best efforts I've ever recorded. I was in great ripping shape, and probably a big reason why I killed a good bull. But you know, I worked really hard at my fitness. I was in great shape, and I covered a bunch of mountain miles and a bunch of mountain miles with, you know, packs with camp in it. You know, even that day pack, packing a scope around is pretty heavy, but just miles upon miles and elevation after elevation. I'm really proud of my effort this season. Of course, I never slept in once, which is like always a given with me. Never missed an evening hunt. Like is like if I had a chance to kill one, I was going for it. And that goes for the last minute of the last day. I was trying to kill a bull and hiking way out in the dark a lot of times, and you know, just huge goes. I never passed up an opportunity. Always gave myself a chance. But anyway, so we make a play. Those elk got spooked. It's like bummer, but we're in a good location, and we've got a few days worth of gear or whatever, so we should be good. At this point, I guess this is like my third rip, because I had done a backpacking mission in the mountains. Then we went to a different hunt, and gosh, we put in, I don't know, 10 days. I must be day 14, day 15 at this point, which is a long season. And we get back to the vantage point and hear a bugle and look over, and I glass a good 6-point bull, and it's across the draw. And it's one of those deals where it's like, man, you think we can get to him? And it's like you're not even sure if you can make it there or not. And I'm just like, if we drop our packs right here and we take off jogging, I think we can get over there. And of course, you can't jog into elk, but you can jog to close the distance. So, I don't know, he's maybe a mile as the crow flies, but maybe a couple miles going for it. And so we just leave all our stuff there, but our bow and the camera, and we take off jogging. And it's like, we are going to give ourselves a chance at this bull. He's a good 6-point. He's bugling his head off. He's with a bunch of cows, and he's in a good spot. We've got a great downhill thermal, full send. So we jog like most of the way over there, close the distance, and then, just start playing the game with this herd like that's bugling up and through there. And they're kind of in some open sage, and I'm able to get a visual on them, keep kind of moving through the trees, keeping cover, and able to kind of duck down. And I see him one last time, and we're real close to bow range, and able to kind of crawl down below and use that undulation again. Like, just the way the hills lay out, it's always amazing, like how much cover that you can create, and instincts just take over, where I'm just making moves now. Cameraman's following me, bulls bugling, cows on the ridge, and there's satellite bulls going everywhere, and able to just make my way in there, have them, hold up my cameraman. I can see the cows. I can see the bull on the ridge. We're maybe like 10 minutes left to light. And I hold them up there, and I get about 10 more yards on them. And I hear a bull like off to my left, like start to move. And he like cranks off this big bugle, and then just gets broadside for me right there, and just put one on him. Just that perfect execution, settle my pin, pull, shot breaks, and just crush him. Like I couldn't have walked up and put a better arrow into that bull. Watch him, run off, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 yards, something like that. And then watch him crash right there and die in sight. And it's a pretty surreal feeling. It's like seems like mission impossible, and seems like I can't get anything to go right. I've had misses, and it's like to come back and put on a perfect play and a perfect shot on that bull, and have him be a nice big mature 6-point, just like means the world to me. It's just overcome with emotion. It's just like, man, I'd been at my lowest low a few days earlier after missing that shot, that close bull, and then here I am with a great 6-point and pulled it off. And it's pretty incredible. It's I've said it before, but bow hunting will take you to your lowest lows and also take you to your highest highs. And that feeling doesn't come without, a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. And to pull it off on a big 6-point just means the world in wild country. And so pretty surreal moment, and just the ultimate in bow hunting. So I feel really fortunate to pull it off. The goal every year during September is one big mature 6-point, and able to get that done. And I still have some hunting left. I do have to get back to some responsibility, catch some of my daughter's volleyball games, and get some work done before I get fired, and make sure I've got podcasts coming out to you guys. And so it has been 5 to 6 week immersive experience. I have taken a break from offline. Like I'd taken a break from the podcast, from recording, other than getting a few ready for you guys. But, I've really been able to take a break from the normal everyday stuff and put all my focus, all my energy into bow hunting. And that is a beautiful thing. These wild adventures and wild places. I mean, man, I heard that story. Like, I just, I feel, so fortunate for like being able to go do these adventures, and I feel bad. Like I learned about the kid from Colorado. I want to get his name and mention him by name, but that passed in Colorado. It's pretty wild. Like he was a avid listener to the podcast. He was filled with passion, and he was living that same life that all of us guys are living, and chasing his dream in the mountains. And Andrew, and his buddy. I'm not sure his buddy's name, but Andrew's fiance reached out. Bridget told me he was an avid podcast listener. I'm going to do all I can to like help the family. Like I just can't imagine. And right during that same time frame, like, man, I had to ride out a gnarly lightning storm as well. So I know like how quick and how dangerous that stuff can be. And we do take chances, like being in the wilderness and pushing our limits for sure. I always think of it as like good wooden sense and try to be safe and make sure that I come home to my family every time. But that's the reality of like he was a good woodsman, and it wasn't like he was up on a ridgeline holding a metal pole or anything. Like, man, he was just out chasing his dreams, and that lightning can hit anywhere, and unfortunately it like hit him and his buddy there, and passed, and now his family has to deal with it. So I do feel fortunate in like these small little things, like missing a bull, or like having close calls and having it not come together. Really, that's the small stuff. Like I've got a family that loves me that I got to take care of, and I'm just fortunate that they support my passion, and that I could take so many days and be out in these woods chasing these bulls, chasing these bucks. Like I love it with every fiber of my being. Like I have found my passion and my love for and it just doesn't get any better, but I feel really fortunate. That lightning storm I rode out it out with my buddy Dylan Ness, my cameraman. We were hunting together, kind of going after a bull that night, had a close encounter with that bull as he came by us. I almost had a shot at him. Like he was right inside my range right there, and just never stopped, was just rutting cows, and ended up rutting right by us. And we were going up to the vantage point to go get a play. Dylan actually got to play at a giant bull later that evening. It was just like a dream mountain bull, just like the king of the mountain in and through there. And actually, the next day, I got to play at that same bull. I had him at 100 yards, 115 yards, a couple different times, just never got a shot. Chased hundreds of bugles in the timber. There must have been 300 bugles in the timber. Just incredible experiences I've been able to have this season that are it's like a life-changing season. I'm just like so fortunate. But we rode out a gnarly lightning storm. We were going for the vantage point. We got about halfway up there, and I could see the storm rolling, and I'm like, guys, we just better play it safe. Let's get to a low spot in the sage. We'll ride this thing out. Got to a low spot in the sage, and man, the lightning started snapping around us pretty good. And it was like, all of a sudden, it's like, guys, it isn't worth our life to keep this elevation. Like, let's just drop. We'll lose all our elevation. Let's get down into that willow bottom and ride this thing out. And good thing we did. I don't know how many strikes we had within a half mile, but it was a bunch of them. And we had two that were absolutely gnarly, where I heard the buzz of the lightning the one time, where it just snaps, like the flash and the boom is at the same time. It was right above us. We were in the willow bottom and about as safe as place as we could be, but man, it was snappy and almost hurt like your eardrums. It was so close. And I could hear the buzz of the lightning, like as the lightning bolt was going. So wild and super scary too. It's like, man, you feel small in those situations, and make us, they do not only those situations, being in the mountains, they like make us better men as well. You're like able to think about your family and your wife and your kids, and how you want to be better, and better in business, better provider. At least for me, like I'm able to reflect a lot upon my life and just be super grateful at the time I get in the mountains. And I know that that's the deal with Andrew too, man. He had like a great wife. He was a young kid. He wanted to kill his first bull. Like, man, he was listening to these podcasts as he was mowing the grass, as he was working out. Like, he lived the lifestyle that we live, super passionate. And unfortunately it was taken away from him at a young age. And just I thought about him quite a bit, like as I was hunting, like as I get to enjoy myself out there, and realizing he doesn't get the same opportunity, and just how fleeting this life is. And we better spend it doing the things we enjoy and loving the people that we care about. So, I mean, that's I know it isn't elk hunting advice, but I do think we should all be grateful for the time we get, being able to chase these critters around the mountains, have these wild experiences. And like soak it in. Hunting season only comes once a year. And yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's challenging. I mean, success rates are way down there. You're not going to succeed on every season or every hunt. And that's just kind of the way it goes. But, if we continue to work like at our skills, if we continue to work to get better, it just gives us a better chance at finding success. And man, I mean, I'm so grateful. Like I've got elk in the freezer now. I'm eating elk for another year. Killed a big mature 6-point. Had one of the wildest seasons I've ever had in the mountains, like more elk encounters, and really did a lot of things right as far as locating elk, as far as my effort, as far as the plays, as far as reading the wind, shot execution, even having those misses, like I executed correctly, on the one I punched off, but I know I punched off a good arrow if it's any consolation. But yeah, I mean, I broke good shots, and yeah, it's just the way it can go sometimes, man. It's wild out there, and it's extremely difficult and challenging, and that's why we love it. And some of these endeavors might be multi-year endeavors to find that success. But yeah, pumped for all you guys too. Like I've seen a lot of success, you guys beating the odds and killing good critters, good deer, good elk. Proud of you guys for like the work you put in and the effort. And then for the guys that weren't successful, man, it happens to all of us. That's so difficult out there. And I think we just got to enjoy our time and enjoy the journey that is bow hunting. And we're going to get our chances. You continue to put in the work, you're going to get your chances. Andrew is trying to kill his first bull elk. He was working really hard, and no doubt, like he would have got her done this year. Like he was on elk, and they were chasing him pretty hard. And he would have accomplished his goals eventually. Like no guarantee this season or anything. I'm sure he had some good chances and good plays, but the work and commitment level he put in, like he was going to kill a bull for sure. And when he does, it's like the best feeling on planet Earth. It's like climbing Everest for us guys. It's you work so hard at something, and when you achieve it, it's such an overwhelming feeling. And yeah, just pumped I'm eating elk meat and able to beat the odds and kill a nice 6-point. And I'm pumped I've got a lot of season left. I've got to get some work and some responsibility done and make sure I'm here for my family and make sure I get that stuff done. But I am going to get some more days out. I've got a lot of mule deer to chase here. So I've got some hunts doing that. I've got an aoudad hunt, which is going to be an awesome adventure. I've got a bunch of days planned for that. So it's not over for me. Like I've still got a lot of bow hunting to do. And I'm going to be at my best too. I'm going to really make quality plays. That one burned me the other night, like not getting my wind right as I played the wind right all season, but I'm going to be better for it. Like it cuts deep and it hurts bad. And I'm mad at myself because I made a big mistake when I had a chance to close on a dream bull that I wanted, but I'm going to get another chance. It's, I'm going to get a chance at mule deer, bitter cold, deep snow, big mountains, and big rutting mule deer and pre-rut mule deer. And so, I've got a lot of adventuring left. And for that, I'm super grateful and super fortunate. I just want to continue to structure my life to get as much time in the mountains as I can, because that's truly what I love to do. So, yeah, I definitely want to make some more cuts. And, I'm getting to the age where I just like keep structuring my life to get more time and more adventures and more hunts. And I want to plan more big ones. Like it's so fun to go do. And it's something that keeps me working hard and challenges me to my core. And so I just want to do it till the day I die for sure. And I'm fortunate and a better person because of it. Better at business, better family guy. And, it's definitely taught me resilience and all these like great life lessons that I can carry into everything I do. But yeah, I was just got done ripping a few arrows, and I'm going to be back out and rip a few more after this podcast. I'll be up early in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to get a couple podcasts out. I've got to work some construction here, trying to wrap up a house, and I got to make sure that I get that completed, get those owners in it, finish what I said I'm going to do. So I've got to get that done and starting a new project here and making sure the guys have work. And so, I need to get up and make a hit on that project, but I've got some big hunts coming up, and I'll be out next weekend, hopefully for a 3-4 day mission. and got a good plan after that, going in with Dylan Ness, Montana mule deer. It's going to be really fun. We've been developing a new spot, and so we're going to go in there and see if we can't kill a buck or two. I also really want my friends to be successful. I was really pumped to see my good buddy Dan Heverin. He killed a great 6-point this year. Got to get him on the pod again. He does so great on the pod. I'll hit him up. And then, so pumped. My buddy Dylan Ness, man, he killed a monster bull. We hunted together a bunch this season, which was really fun. And he's just such a good bow hunter, so clutch, puts in the time, puts in the work. I mean, always in full send. He just exemplifies what like a hardcore bow hunter should be, man. And to watch him be successful and pull it off on a big, heavy mountain bull was pretty cool to see. So congrats to him. I'm going to get him on the podcast here. I think this week I can get him on a morning here and we'll record and get the story of his elk season. He had one of the elk seasons that I had, just an absolute grind, a full send, a go for it, highs and lows and close encounters, and then finally pulled it off on a great big bull. It's just what I love to see. It just exemplifies what a bow hunter should be. So that was really cool. I want to see my friends be successful. So we definitely want to create opportunities for them and be a good friend. And I really enjoy sharing the mountains with these guys. And it was pretty fun this season sharing the mountains. I've got some good hunts. That buddy of mine, Dan Heverin, he's got the Aoudad tag with me. He's also, we have share some mule deer tags this year. So I'll be hunting with him here shortly. And man, he's really done well, seeing consistent success. Killed that bull. Gosh, did he kill something? I'm trying to remember if he killed a buck early or a antelope. Dylan killed a great antelope, which was cool. We shared that antelope hunt early, so that was fun. But yeah, it's been awesome. It's awesome to share those close encounters and experiences with you guys, and hopefully share some insight. Hopefully, it's like 6 weeks of chasing critters around. There's some good insights and good lessons I've learned. I've definitely become a better bow hunter in these last 6 weeks. It's a lot of experience and a lot of chasing critters around, and just want to continue to share it with you guys and help you guys in your journey become more successful bow hunters, and also to appreciate and be grateful for like the life we get to live. Like I say, nothing's guaranteed. And so we want to enjoy what we love to do and continue working hard at it. So thanks for listening in. How long did I go there? Hopefully I got rambling and a bunch of thoughts on there, and good. We covered an hour. It's a good thing. I want to thank our sponsors for today's show again. Thanks for these guys that support this, that really help bring out this content and help me bow hunt more, which is always the goal. So Cutter Stabilizers, make sure to give their stabilizers a try. On Glass, like the best phone scoping system that I found. So check that out. And also check out Goat Knives, Travis Nowotny with a giant bull this year. He's such a consistent bow hunter and a great person, man. Really happy to have him on board with the podcast. So make sure to give him some love. And we're giving away one of those knives every month. So just look on, it's going to be Life of a Bow Hunter. I'll share it on my page too. But when we post about Goat Knives, just send it on there and you're entered in. We've already given one away, I believe, maybe two, but we're giving one a month away through December. So nice of them to donate those. And I've been using that goat knife, used it on my bull, used it on my antelope. So thanks a bunch to Travis and his support of the podcast, and all our sponsors. Really, I really appreciate them and really appreciate you guys. I know I've been gone offline. I'm trying to get back, and just want to show you guys support for like all your guys' hard work and the critters that you've been able to put down. So I've got a little bit behind on my DMs and texts, and I've been totally focused on bow hunting here and posts on IG. So I got to catch up online and make sure that I'm showing all you guys support for great critters. So make sure to share photos with me if you guys were successful this season, man. It's beating the odds. It's so difficult to do. So congrats to you guys. And if you're one of the many that put in the work and didn't find success, I mean, that goes for all of us. Ate a mule deer tag there early. That was a good tag. And has great bucks in it, and man, it happens to the best of us for sure. It's like part of the game, but it's continuing to keep your head right and working hard. If you got more hunts or, towards next season, that, that hard work does pay off, that working on your skill set does pay off in consistent success. And, I'm just like you guys. I'm, out there working hard towards my goals, and, I may get a little bit more time, but it's all do it yourself, public land hunts, the same thing you guys are doing, and able to find consistent success just through hard work and effort. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we can all find. So keep working hard towards your goals. Thanks for listening into the podcast. Support on social media, support on the podcast, support to our sponsors. I really appreciate you guys. It's like such a great community, and just want to continue to bring you guys the absolute best information to make you guys better bow hunters. So thanks again for listening in. I promise I will get Dan Picard back on this podcast. We will be back to our regular scheduled programming here in 2 weeks when I release another one. So we will find a day to record, but thanks for the support. Appreciate you guys.